Yeah, so today we're talking about mechanics of throwing, which is our last in-person lab. And to be honest, I didn't expect this to happen. I thought the campus would shut down in the first month. So yeah, I didn't thought we were gonna have an in-person last lab. But anyways, yeah. But remember, we still got one online lab next week. So this is our second last lab. So today you see some tennis ball outside. We're going trying to teach your partner to throw a ball as far as possible with your non-dominant arm. So there'll be a lot of things to adjust. That'll be a little bit fun, I think. So mechanically, I thought Dr. Smith has already covered the qualitative analysis. So there are 4 parts of qualitative analysis, which will be preparation. The preparation will mean you do your homework, try to understand the movement and the goal, so you know what a perfect movement would look like. And then for observation and evaluation, that'll be you apply your knowledge to your client or your partner and try to analyze like what part you want to adjust based on your knowledge. And then the last part will be instruction. So we're going to go through these 4 parts today and trying to make your client or your partner to throw a ball further. So the first one will be preparation, gonna do our homework. The goal for today is to throw a ball as far as possible. So mechanically, that'll be to maximize the horizontal displacement. Does that sound familiar? In lab 3, we've talked about the horizontal displacement, right? The projectile motion lab. So in that lab, there are 3 critical components, which will be the takeoff velocity, the release angle, and the release height. Right. So to throw a ball as far as possible, what would be the optimal takeoff velocity? Would it be higher or lower? What do you expect? Velocity would be as high as possible, right? If you want to maximize the displacement. And how about the release angle? What would be the best angle, theoretically? I thought it would be 45 degrees, right? With 45 degrees, you can maximize your horizontal displacement. And the release height is mostly depend on your body height, so it's hard to change. So today we're going to focus on the first 2 parts. That'll be takeoff velocity and the release angle. So for the velocity, you want to maximize the velocity, and the release angle will be close to 45 degrees. But think about if you want to throw a ball as fast as possible, what would be the best release angle in your mind? Would it be 45? Or you want to throw it a little bit more horizontally? Yeah, so it'll be easier for human body to generate a velocity in the horizontal direction versus the vertical direction. So you want to throw a ball as fast as possible, that'll probably be a horizontal direction. So actually there's a little bit trade-off. So if you look at a javelin thrower, usually their takeoff angle is around 40 degrees, not 45. Because more horizontally, they can have more velocity. So there's a little bit trade-off, but there's no the best answer for everybody. So it really depends on who you're teaching. So maybe your client can maintain 45 degrees at a pretty good velocity, then you can keep it that way. So it really depends on the client. You gotta customize the solution for them. Yeah, so, and also to generate a good velocity, you're not just throwing with your arms, you gotta have a summation of force and a sequential activation. So the force should be generated from the bottom up, so from your lower body to upper body. So there are 2 principles. The first one will be heaviest and slowest body part move first. So that'll be your lower extremities, your legs, your pelvis, your trunk, and then to your arms. So that's a bottom-up approach. And also use as many body parts as possible, which sounds intuitive, but actually when you try to throw a ball with your non-dominant arm, it's usually you're just focusing on your arm and you're forgetting other body parts. So make sure you use all your body parts from your lower extremity to your arms. And also, you're gonna find the right timing to accumulate the force. So if you activate each body part too early, then looking at this graph, you're adding the force on the suboptimal timing, which result in a lower force. So you're gonna have a pretty good timing, so you add the force on the peak of previous body segment. Yeah, so timing is another pretty important component. So you gotta use all the body parts and to activate at the right timing. So if you're interested after this lab, there are several resources. So the first one will be a journal article, and the other two will be YouTube videos talking about mechanics of throwing javelin and a football. So yeah, any questions for the preparation phase? Not really. Okay. So if you look at the manual, so for the assignment today, it'll be super easy. You just use the manual as your note and take some note on that when you're trying to adjust your partner's movement, and then just turn in whatever you have after this lab. So you won't have an assignment this week. Yeah, so the questions are all open-ended. There's no right answer for everybody, but we're gonna understand each component. So for question 3, what's the relative importance of the 5 items? So we know for strength, that's related to the maximum velocity, right? And how about flexibility? How does it affect the throwing mechanics? Is that important in throwing? I guess so, because like for the first part, you gotta take a big step, right, to generate a forward velocity of your trunk or your pelvis. So if you're able to take a bigger step, then you can have a higher velocity, so which will be great. And also, you'll want a flexibility of your thorax. So you need a range of motion so you can have the ball travel for longer distance versus you have limited range of motion, the ball will travel just a short distance, right? So the flexibility is also pretty important. And the timing, you know, the summation of force and activation sequence. So the timing is important. And also the accuracy, you want to throw the ball at an optimal angle. So you gotta release the ball at a certain angle, which is related to accuracy. And also for balance, you gotta have a stable lower body to generate the force with your upper body. Right? So you usually accelerate your trunk after your leading foot is stably on the ground. So that's
not great. Which ones you think?
Yeah, just like look at your partner and grade which one would be the first thing you want to improve for them. Yeah. And this chart is just for you to make sure you look at all the body parts. So yeah, that'll be from feet to trunk and to upper arms. So make sure you look at all the segments and in all 3 phases. That'll be preparation phase, action phase, and follow through. So that's just a chart for you to check up, like if you look at if you miss anything. Okay. So today you're going to pair up with a partner, and you got 10 minutes to improve their skills, and you got 5 balls to throw. So you can see on the chair there are 10 balls. Each of you will use 5 balls. Try to improve your throwing distance with your non-dominant arm. So remember 2 things are important. The first one would be part to whole learning. So for example, they didn't take a good step, then you probably want to improve their stepping repeatedly before they incorporate their trunk motion. So you're gonna take a good step and then try to incorporate their trunk and upper body. So that's part to whole learning. And also in other sports, it's important to correct the movement that will cause injury first. So those are 2 key components here. So for the assignment, just use that manual when you instruct your partner and take some note on it and turn whatever you have after this lab. So that'll be pretty chill, I think. Yeah, any questions? Not really?
So we're just filling out, like there's 8 questions?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Can you fill it out for us or?
I think for you as an instructor, yeah, I think the question is asking you, did your client improve something and what's adjusted after your instruction? So yeah, so this lab is more about instruction, not about throwing. Yeah. Okay, all good. Then we're going to meet outside and occupy your chair. We're gonna divide into 1, 2, 3 groups.